Hello everyone, it's me, Mix2the and welcome back to The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. So sit back and enjoy. Yeah, Link sure is hot in here, I know, but luckily last time we finished the Fire Temple, which means we can leave this place since our business here right now is concluded. And that means we can seek out a much cooler territory now. And I hope Link likes that, because he was in the heat for long enough. Okay, before we do so though, a couple of things we still need to do here. We got the Megaton Hammer. The Megaton Hammer enables us to smash those kinds of rocks here. Just hammer it twice, and as you can see, this one had a grotto. Nothing of major interest here, just a few deco scrubs. That allows me to show another small thing about the hammer. If you have deco scrubs here, you can simply do this. And all of them are knocked out of their hiding, except this guy. They don't say anything anymore, okay. Guys probably just sell basic resources. Bombs, yeah, nope. I'm gonna assume arrows. Arrows, yeah. I'm such a clairvoyant, I know. And this guy's selling a red potion, maybe? Oh, deco nuts, yeah. Okay, nothing of interest in my case here. But in a randomizer setting, if you have Scrub Shuffle enabled, definitely interesting. Something that is much more important, though, is over here. Those rocks over here. Now he's already pointing at that. Yeah, we can smash those, of course, as well. And we end up in a fairy fountain. Great fairies fountain, even. I don't have my stuff equipped. Let's play the hammer. How about that? I don't have fishes or a fish or so, or bugs. Nah. Go with the good old Ocarina, then. That was weird. I didn't press anything. He was facing the fountain, okay. Now, dude. There we go. This fairy is kind of important. The upgrade is pretty nice we get here. Not a new move or spell, but an upgrade we do get here. Ah yeah, you're a beautiful Arthur, and why are we seeing her ass? I'm not sure. I'm not sure with those fairies in general. Welcome, Link. I'm the great fairy of wisdom. I'm going to enhance your magic power. Oh yeah, receive it now. Cool. We get more magic power now, which means our magic meter gets doubled in length. Your magic meter is enhanced. Nice. Your magic power has been enhanced. I get it. Now you have twice as much magic power. Nice. Wow, nice view. Those fairies. When battle has made you weary, please come back to see me. And Link, even more so than usual, does not really know what to say. But yeah, double magic, pretty nice. Might come in handy. Okay, we have multiple options now. We could go back to Goron City, or we can go to like the peak of Death Mountain. I'm gonna go to the peak of Death Mountain, smashing this rock first. Smashing that rock is not important. You can also just jump over here with a jump and a jump slash. That gives you enough distance to jump over to the ladder here. But I think most of the stuff here we've already done as a child. We did already visit that grotto. I did get the piece of heart on the climbable wall. This is just still a gossip stone. Yeah, we also got the piece of heart we usually need a magic bean for. So yeah, only one thing to do here. Not quite here, but a few meters further. Want to go here. We can also, I have this, right? Yeah, this, yeah, of course. We can continue the trading sequence. Because we find Big Goron here. Big Goron seems to have some kind of problem here, as you can see. What does he say about the broken sword? That broken knife is surely my work. Why is he stretching the R? I really want to repair it, but because of yesterday's eruption, my eyes are irritated, dude. They are fine eye drops in Zora's domain. You will find them if you go to see King Zora. Is that supposed to be like some kind of weird echo effect because he's so big or so? Please go get the eye drops. Okay, you checked in the broken Goron sword and received a prescription. Go see King Zora. Okay, that's of course convenient. That's the next place you want to go anyways. I've been waiting for you with tears in my eyes. Tears of the Kingdom. Please say hello to King Zora. Okay. Yeah, and that was one thing I wanted to do here. The other thing is over here. That's gonna hurt, yeah. One thing to note here right now is because we did dispel like the strange cloud on Death Mountain and completed the Fire Temple, there's no longer eruptions going on here. There are no stones falling from the sky here anymore. What we want to do here, we want to make it nighttime because then we can get a Skulltula here. The Skulltula here is right behind this rock. However, we do not need a Megaton Hammer for this. We can just defeat it like this with the quick spin, for example. And then we can just backflip into the rock and we pick up the token. Nice. That's one very interesting trick. While it's nighttime, we are also able to get another gold Skulltula here at Death Mountain. Just fall down here. Ouch. I can see here big Goron, nice. But yeah, over here, a similar case. Another Skulltula behind a Megaton rock. Once again, we want to defeat it. However, this Skulltula we cannot get by simply backflipping into the rock. This one is a little bit more tricky. Because what we want to do is we want to target it. And then we want to use our hookshot. We need to walk into the rock here. And what we want to do is continuously fire our hookshot here. And if we are lucky, we should be able to grab the token here. I'm actually never sure where to stand for this. You want to move into the rock, that's one thing I'm sure of. But everything else seems to be kinda random. Might also be a thing with how the token faces. If you like imagine a token, you will notice that those tokens of course spin around. This was lucky here, there we go. Like it could actually be that if the token is facing a certain direction, like its hitbox is different or so. But as you could see, just move into the rock and continuously fire your hookshot while being targeted to the token here. And yeah, watch that Link's arm is like inside the rock and you should be able to get it. But yeah, normally you would require a Megaton Hammer for that one. Cool, now we can go back to Goron City. I'm actually not sure, did I show you this? I'm pretty sure I did, right? There's a hidden grotto here, but let me quickly confirm if I did or not. Big Goron, please shut up. Yeah, it's open, okay. Nothing of interest then. Rock, I'm gonna take that rock and deliver it to the Gorons as food, although they are very picky eaters, so yeah. We can also see the Gorons are back. We freed all of them in the Fire Temple, so they're all happy now. What do you say? Thank you, Link. I wonder if we can still find Link the Goron. Might actually be the case that he's no longer here. Maybe it's down there, maybe it's the guy down there. Thank you, Link. Okay, everyone is kind of speechless, like they cannot say anything else anymore. But yeah, we want to go back here to the Boulder Labyrinth here. This is a place we already went to as a child. We did pick up 2 treasure chests here and a gold Skulltula. And one thing I can quickly do here, I think it's about time that I do that. I think it's about time that I explain the infinite sword glitch to all of you. So, the infinite sword glitch. Or should I should start with something else. Wait a second. I start with power crouch steps first. The thing is, if you shield and press B while holding shield, you can do this crouch step. And this crouch step has a lot of interesting properties. Also a weird remnant of like Zelda 2 again here, the crouch step. But yeah, this step has a lot of unique properties. Because actually this step has no properties at all. The way this step works is that it inherits the last like kind of sword swing you did perform. For example, if we do a normal sword swing, this crouch step will always deal like the damage you do with one of those horizontal slashes. So I basically just deal horizontal damage right now. Horizontal sword slash damage right now, which is, in terms of the Master Sword, 2 units of health. This, of course, can be then combined if you perform a jump slash, then you use crouch steps, you perform so-called power crouch steps, because now every one of those steps has the same power as a jump slash, which is twice as much as a regular sword slash. Meaning, in terms of Master Sword, again, 4 units of health. This is very good because this is a much faster way to dish out great damage. And this is used a lot in boss fights and similar. But it does not stop there. Like, this is basically the basic application of power crouch steps. You want to do a jump slash somewhere, and then you can just move around and use this, and you deal jump slash damage without having to perform jump slashes. That's pretty nice and all. But there's much more we can do with this power crouch step. Because it does not only inherit like the damage from what you last did, it also inherits the overall properties. And that means if we, for example, swing the hammer, we inherit the hammer's properties, which means if we now use crouch steps, we can break blocks with that, which is pretty funny. Normally we will not be able to do that with the sword. I can show that again. Like, if you use a normal horizontal slash, of course the boulder does not break. If we now use power crouch steps, that no longer works. But because I basically stored a hammer attack, the crouch step inherits that hammer attack, and we can break boulders with it. So far so good, right? Now, there is something that is basically like the next advancement of this power crouch step, and that's called the infinite sword glitch. And the infinite sword glitch is something I already used, and it is this weird thing where you, as the name implies, like infinitely swing your sword basically. The way you initiate it is with this crouch step, and you basically need something that allows you to interact with it. That can be people you can talk to, a sign you can read, it can even be a bomb. And for example, we could use that Goron. What we want to do is, we want to use a crouch step, and while Link is performing the action, we want to talk to the Goron. So we want to view the A button, we want to see that it reads speak. We want to press B now to initiate a crouch step, and like basically at the same time before Link finishes his animation, we want to speak to the Goron, and we should see whether or not it worked. That was not right. That was not right. And it worked. Cool. The way you can tell that it works is if the camera is stuck as if it is Z-targeting, but you still have like normal control of Link. You can see we have those like letterboxing going on, like there are black borders at the bottom and at the top of the screen. That's an indication that we have infinite sword glitch. Another thing you can tell, or another sign you can use to indicate whether or not you got infinite sword glitch is like if you can see the sword trail while Link puts away his sword. Watch closely, I'm gonna do that again. You could see the sword trail still there. That means we got infinite sword glitch. Okay, what can we do with infinite sword glitch? A lot of stuff. Infinite sword glitch has a lot of properties. First of all, let me show off the like infinite slash property of infinite sword glitch. I can do that by moving Aula to the boulders again, because if we now move close to one of those boulders, this happens. Pretty loud, I know, but as you can see, Link is basically a constant hitbox right now. And because Link puts his sword into like his scabbard again, the sword hitbox is basically kind of inside Link, which means everything Link touches now does receive sword damage. This can also be like altered a little bit if we press target while in this state, perform a backflip, and while we are mid-air we can draw the sword. As you can still see, this the sword still has the sword trail with it. And basically the sword hitbox is now actually where the sword is. That is important for some setups. You can also see that like Link has like this little lightsaber effect going on there because the sword trail is a little bit longer than the actual sword. What that means is if we stand with the sword in the rock now, it does like still this constant damage, but if we move away, like facing the side where Link has his shield, it does no longer work, which would have previously worked. I think if I put it away now, it's gone. Now it's still there, I can still shout it off, but now it's like, again, within Link, and like it constantly like does stuff while Link is touching stuff. There are more unique properties to Infinite Sword Glitch. The first and one of the most important ones is, while in this state, Link can never fall off ledges. He doesn't never jump off ledges. We can go, like, we can just hold into the direction of the ledge and Link will not fall off. That's very important because that's used for a lot of setups, for hovering, for example. But that stuff, that's too advanced, I will not show off, but keep that in mind, that's a very important property of Infinite Sword Glitch. Anything else? No, yeah, no, wait, yeah, of course. Because we initiated the Infinite Sword Glitch, basically with the crouch step, the Infinite Sword Glitch also carries over all the properties the crouch step had when we were initiating ISG. So, for example, because I think I still used like a normal sword slash, we do not break boulders right now. Like if I move close to... Now we still have it, okay, because then I used hammer before, I used the crouch step to initiate ISG, which means while we have ISG now, we have still the hammer properties going on, which means you can just do this, which is pretty funny. Cool, yeah, this is important, there's a chest there, but yeah, that's the fun part here now. This is always a great room to highlight all of this. If you want to lose Infinite Sword Glitch, there are a bunch of methods to do that, and the easiest way is probably to just normally attack again. And that means ISG is gone, and we are normal again. If you move into stuff here, we don't have infinite hits now. Another method would be to just shield, that makes also Infinite Sword Glitch go away. You can also, if you have water nearby, you can step into the water, initiate it so that Link swims, that also makes Infinite Sword Glitch go away. If you take damage, that also erases Infinite Sword Glitch. There are a lot of ways to get rid of Infinite Sword Glitch, so you're not stuck with it. But those are also very important to keep in mind, because if you want to maintain Infinite Sword Glitch, you need to avoid those actions. But first of all, let's grab this treasure chest, that's why I came here. 200 rupees, absolutely wasted, nice. And let me quickly also show off Infinite Sword Glitch with a bomb. That's where the, if you take damage, Infinite Sword Glitch is cancelled, comes in. Because what we want to do, we want to place a bomb, we want to move a little bit away from it, and then we want to use crouch step again, and while we do that, we want to pick up the bomb. While we are still carrying the bomb, we want to throw it away in a way that Link does not take damage from it, because otherwise we have Infinite Sword Glitch, pick up the bomb, and take damage from the bomb, which then cancels ISG again. Let's see if I can pull this off. If you do this, and that was way too slow. Bomb. That was way too slow. Come on. No, too slow. There we go, I got it, and bomb away, and I got Infinite Sword Glitch. There we go. This is a little bit tricky to initiate Infinite Sword Glitch with the bomb, but it is ultimately the most reliable way, because then you do not depend on something to interact with. You just use the bomb and can pretty much perform Infinite Sword Glitch everywhere. And yeah, now we have Infinite Sword Glitch again. You can see the camera is all weird. We have the letterboxing, and we cannot fall off ledges. Let's see if I can pull off something here. I'm not sure if that works, but let's see if I can pull off a hover. I think I want bomb shoes for that, if anything. Like if I do... wait a second, that's a bad button for bomb shoes and hovering, I think. If we do this, didn't quite work. But I still got Infinite Sword Glitch. I think I cannot fall off the fence here. Nah, I think I'm doing something wrong. One more time. Yeah, no. I think I need to pull out it first. No. Okay, now I took damage. Infinite Sword Glitch is gone. Okay. But yeah, that was a small explanation of how Infinite Sword Glitch works. There are also many more ways you can initiate Infinite Sword Glitch. And I think Navi also does the trick if I do this. No, that was... I did not step. Okay, never mind. Okay, I also want to show, like, how... like the power coach step inherits the damage, but I do that at the foot of Death Mountain once we are back at Kakariko. Are you Link? No, okay. But yeah, for now we can leave here. I just wanted to pick up the chest and explain ISG. But yeah, ISG, very important glitch. Like I said, it's used in a lot of setups, a lot of further glitches you do with it. It's a very common starter for a lot of shenanigans you can pull off in Ocarina of Time. Like hovering. Hovering is a prominent example of having to use ISG in order to perform it. I did buy the broken, the Giant's Knife. I don't need to buy another one because that was shoddy craftsmanship. I should talk to him again though. I also want to know, are you Link the Goron? That guy cannot be gone, right? I think he's smaller. Could that be really him? Brother Link, everybody has come back. I think, yeah, that's him. Didn't you destroy? Yeah, didn't you destroy the dragon together, didn't you? When I grow up, I want to be a strong man like you, Link. Nice. And the funny thing is, Link is not even really a man, like he's basically a child trapped in a man's body. Funny thing, I know. Let's talk to Medigoron again, let's see if he has something to say. It looks like there is a problem with its durability, but still. How about buying this knife for 200 rupees? No, I think, I'm not sure if that's a rumor or not, but I think if you buy the Giant's Knife again, it does have more durability than before, because you're basically being the guinea pig here for Medigoron, and each time you buy a new Giant's Knife after the old one broke, he basically enhances his craftsmanship and you get more hits from that Giant's Knife. I think that's how it works. I think that's something I did here. I'm not sure though if it is actually the truth or not, but I don't want to buy another one. Alright, come back again. I think that's something that might be the truth, but I'm not sure. Cool. One more thing here. There's also a secret room here, like this room over here. We can see hookshot targets, and we can see Navi is reacting to something. We can make a time block spawn here. I think those are also the time blocks you can view as adult and child Link in order to confirm whether or not they actually travel in time or not. I think this is a good spot to confirm that. Okay, I think that's not enough. I need another one. That's no way that's gonna reach. Do I just play Song of Time again? Song of Time, my favorite puzzle item, kind of, because it takes so long to use. No, okay. And then I think you need to return here with a long shot, but actually what you can do is you can actually stand here. I can even summon it here. Wait a second. Can I summon a block here? Like now he's reacting there. Or might actually be because that way you can hookshot back to the other hookshot target on the other side. Okay, that's of course highly convenient. Yeah, because we have Goron Tunic, we don't take fire damage here on the lava floor. Which means we can just stand there, play Song of Time. We could even just hookshot onto this. And yeah. No need for a long shot at all. There's a grotto here once again with 3 Deku Scrubs. Deku Nuts? Yeah. Thank you. No. Arrows? Oh yeah. I should have bought those. I'm only at 19. But then again, that's more than enough. Bombs? No. Sell the same stuff, dude. Why is that here? That's such a well-hidden spot, kind of. And it just has those lousy business scraps. But yeah, nice that I shot that off, I guess. Yeah, like I said, long shot is the intended method to cross that lava river. But if you can do it in a different way, then just do it in a different way. That's my motto. Cool, now we can leave here. I haven't forgotten about the one thing I want to show you about power crouch steps. But like I said, I need to go a little bit further down here first. Yeah, we're pretty much finished here with like Death Mountain, I think, at this point. Death Mountain is still missing one Skulltula. That's one from a Magic Bean hole we need to visit as a child now that we got a Bolero of Fire. Okay, those Arachnos are what I want to show you. And notice that those, not Arachnos, Tektites. And notice that the Tektite dies in one hit with a normal Sword Slash with the Master Sword. Which means if we do that, the Tektite dies. Okay, that's good to know. But what has that to do with ISG? I explained to you. I did explain that the power crouch step does inherit the damage and properties of the previously used attack. That raises the question, what is the initial value of this crouch step? You noticed I just left the screen, I just entered this screen here, the Kakariko map. And I didn't use the sword string, so what does it mean for the crouch step here? Like, what value does it have right now? The default value of this crouch step is always 1, which is a normal sword slash by the Kokiri sword. Which means if we don't input anything before, like after we enter a map, if we don't like attack with hammer, sword or anything like it, this crouch step will always deal Kokiri sword damage, even if you have the Master Sword. And the red Tektite is a good way to showcase this. You notice one sword string of the Master Sword was enough to kill it in one hit, but it takes 2 hits with the Kokiri sword, so which means 1 hit and another one. There we go. And then just to clarify again, if we were to fight this guy again, but this time we enter the map and use a sword slash beforehand, like that, if we now use this crouch step, it will die in 1 hit. But yeah, that's also something to keep in mind when it comes to the power crouch step. You always need to basically do something before the crouch step inherits something. The default value is Kokiri sword, and if you use infinite sword glitch, it also carries over all the properties of the crouch step. That's the main takeaway here. Very important to know. And of course, like all those techniques are of course used to absolutely wreck bosses. If you use infinite sword glitch during a boss fight, you can stun lock a lot of bosses first off, and also dish out huge amounts of damage instantly killing them. Which is of course exactly what you want to do in some kind of speedrun or so. So that's where like the most natural usage of infinite sword glitch comes into play. And just in general, it's fun to use. I think I did not want to do anything in Kakariko itself. Did I? Oh, I did already pick up the 50 Skulltulas rewards, which means we can move on to Zora's River. First time we visit Zora's River as adult. Once again, a lot of stuff there to do. Also begging the question, what has changed within the last couple of 7 years. Last couple of 7 years. I wanted to say last couple of years and 7 years, but let's just use both. It's fine. Maybe we did already talk to Navi. Navi informed that I can do that with Zaria's song. I can also talk to Zarya again, just to listen to her, to my old friend. Okay, I want to talk to Zarya, yes. Link, this is Zarya, can you hear me? Link, at first I didn't want to become the Sage of... I think you already said that, but I don't want to hear that. Because I'm helping you to save Hyrule, Link. Yes I am, okay. No. You did not say anything new, Zarya, okay. I think that might be because we are still in like this first set of adult dungeons. I think she might say something new after we finish Water Temple, initiate the next 2 dungeons, basically. Let's talk to Navi. Want to talk to Zarya? No. Really? Then you want to talk to me? Yes. An Arctic wind is blowing from Zora's River. Do you feel it? Oh, Arctic wind. Let's see what happened here. But yeah, like I said, we can seek out a cooler place now after Fire Temple. Also, there's something here, I think. Another hidden grotto, if I recall correctly. Yep. If you see a stone circle and it's not a Korok, it's a hidden grotto with Song of Storms. You will sell a red potion, I guess, and the other one a green one. Yeah, green potion other way around. Yeah, I figured out the structure of those caverns. Nice. Once again, nothing major, but I wanted to show it off anyways. Whoop. Oh yeah, our bean did grow here. We can use this to fly around here. Actually, this is a good place to like leave it. Yeah, let's go to this grotto. We can also reach this place via other means. But the bean was pretty convenient right now. Nice, 20 rupees, I guess. Got my money back, at least. But yeah, another remark about Infinite Swordfish while we wait until it's nighttime. Infinite Swordfish, of course, as a child is also very interesting, because I already did tell you that the Deku Stick deals as much damage as the Master Sword, and if you don't want to rely on like a broken stick, and if you don't want to consume like Deku Sticks because each attack 1 Deku Stick breaks, you can also just do a jump attack, jump slash with the stick as child, and basically store Master Sword jump slash with that, and then you just perform crouch steps until jump slash Master Sword damage, which is nice. This was just a fairy fountain. There's another gossip stone there. Nothing to worry about. That's not bad, because I can show you how you also can go to that place. You can just climb up here, and there's a ladder here. But now I want to hurry, because I want to make it to a specific spot before it's daytime again. And I think I might already be too late, because night in Hyrule is pretty short. Like, Termina would have a bit of trouble with that, but like Hyrule is completely fine with that. It's not being threatened by its moon. Because during nighttime up here, there's also another Skulltula. Once again, this is one Skulltula you are, I think, supposed to reach with the long shot, but if you stand on the fence here, you can also reach it with normal hook shot. Cool. And now quickly, if I can also make it into Zora's domain before it's daytime, that would be pretty fine. There's a way to sneak into Zora's domain without playing Zelda's Lullaby here like you can with Child Link, but I need an item I don't have right now. I need hover boots first in order to do that. So let's behold this cutscene. It's nice that this cutscene is apparently made for Child Link, because if you look closely, Link is like... Ah, damn it. Because Link is standing like... a little bit lower if you watch that cutscene. Yeah, Zora's domain, a little bit cooler than usual, I would say. But yeah, before we take a real look here, let's make it night time again. Oh, okay, yeah, everything is frozen, guys. Just frozen. What has Gandalf done to this place? Down here, there it is. Like this place, a location of myths and legends. The thing is, if you would be able to go below the ice here and go to the bottom of the water here, you can figure out that like down here somewhere, there's like a weird alcove inside this structure here. And like that's basically the rumor. Like people always tell you that there's like the Sky Temple down there, and that's where you acquire the Triforce if you can manage to go down there. And you need to perform, like it's usually the case with urban legends like that. You need to perform a very specific like sequence of events in order to first off reach this place under the ice and like reach that location and then obtain the Triforce. But yeah, that's funny, haha. Yeah, weird anomaly in geometry down there. Over here we have another one of those hidden grottos. Another fairy fountain. Fairy fountain locations in this game are also pretty weird. Also one quirk about the fairies that you can see when you like enter a fairy fountain. The ferries always default to the height that Link is, so which means if we move down here, the ferries also lower their position. If we move up here, the ferries rise. That's pretty funny. That's especially noticeable if you like pick up a pot that has a ferry inside it and smash it against the wall. Because the pot will break up here, the ferry will release, and the ferry instantly drops down to Link's side, which is pretty funny. Like, there are some instances where you can see that. Okay, now let's see what we can do here. Anything else on... It's just Zora's domain, right? Zora's domain. That sign was definitely needed. Okay, now Zora's as far as the eye can see. And they are all frozen solid below the ice here. Even the shop is frozen. Too bad. We have fresh fish, and that's pretty nice. Fish will also stay fresh as long as we have like this cool weather here. Hey, King Zora! Oh, King Zora is also frozen. Uh-oh. There's also something I want to show with King Zora here. But I think I might want to do that after the next mini dungeon. Yeah, this sculpture right here is why I had to make it nighttime, only here during nighttime. Be careful not to fall off the frozen waterfall here. Because ice, of course, is slippery. Ooh. Do I show this off now? I think I might want to show that off now. That means I need to look this setup up. Because what you can do here, you can make it so that the red ice here does not load when you enter the area where King Zora is, or you can make the red ice basically deload, and that way you can talk to King Zora without needing to unfreeze him. But this setup for that is kind of specific. I need to look that up, and yeah, then I will show you what you can do here. Okay guys, I looked it up. Let's see if I can perform it. Okay, the thing starts down here. We need to go over here. And we need to go into this corner here, kind of like the B1 skip in Deco Tree. And we want to roll into this a little bit. And then we want to target the wall. Let's see if that works. I think that's fine. Okay, next up, we want to turn 180 degree. You can do that with that one shield technique I explained to you. Just shield and basically try to shield and like tap down like that. Okay, next up we want to side hop up the stairs 17 times. So we want to perform 17 side hops in the direction of the stairs. Let's see if I screw this up or not. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I screwed it up. If Link moves, that's a bad sign. Then you are better off to start again. This should be fine. Once again, do this. Okay. 1, 2. Damn it. If that happens, that's not good. I should also probably count in German, my specialty. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. No, it doesn't work. Like, if that happens, that's not gonna work. Like, I want to do those one by one, that's the thing, because otherwise I might do too many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's not German counting. Never mind. Wait a second, I got this. Bear with me. That doesn't seem right. Come on, turn around. Okay, thank you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. That's way too much. That didn't work. I need to perform them one by one. I think otherwise it screws over the setup if I just hold right in that instance. Is that okay? I think that's okay. Okay, 1. Dude, If that happens, I'm out of my position. I'm not in the right position anymore. It's very precise, but it does work. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. There we go. Okay, what we want to do now is, next up we want to perform a neutral roll. So let go of target, target again, roll. And that didn't work. Damn it, why is it not working? Do I not really have the right position? Do I need to look that up again? What is the gist here? I'm gonna show it one more. I might need to cut this again. If I go into this corner here again, I can roll into it. Like this. 1, 2, 3. It can also be a little bit annoying, as you can tell. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Let's just hope it counts. Okay, now I'm standing here. Neutral roll, let's see if it works. Neutral roll. Next up is side hop to the left, side hop to the right, side hop to the left again. And then we want to side hop to the right 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we want to read this. No, then we want to perform a backflip. Then we want to read the sign. Let's see if it works. Okay, if I did everything right, let's just hope that worked, even with some like screw ups here and there. We read the sign. What we want to do now is we want to go back down a little bit, and then we want to go back up, because what happens then is, I think I screwed it up. Let's see. No way, it worked. Nice. Okay, it's not too precise, as you can see. But here you want to deload King Zora after read the sign and load him in again, and then the red ice is gone. I have no clue why that happens, but it happens. Cool stuff though. It was not as precise as I thought. Okay, you can just you can sometimes like press a little bit to one side and then still perform those side hops. Once again, just for show, go into that corner, like this kind of. I think no, more like this. I think. Turn around and then perform side hops. If that happens, that's bad, but if you like do it like this, if Link does like this small stutter here by like starting to move to up the stairs, then it's still fine. As long as you perform these side hops kind of like in a row. I think that should still count. But yeah, we did unfreeze King Zora. Yeah, Arctic Wind is blowing from Zora's River, nice. I'm not gonna talk to him right now, I will do that later. But yeah, that's how you unfreeze King Zora and get his reward, even if you don't have blue fire. Nice stuff. Also, one thing I want to shake. No, okay, that's actually a thing, huh. There's a weird thing here in Master Quest, I think. In Master Quest specifically, and I think that's the only overworld change they did in the entirety of Master Quest. There is like one beehive here they added, for whatever reason. Like there's a beehive up there, you can break it, there's nothing inside. Maybe sometimes a rupee or so. But yeah, just here in Master Quest. Someone bothered to add a beehive there. I have no clue why. Yeah, Zora's Fountain. We are back at Zora's Fountain after having done a lot of shenanigans, I know. Also frozen here, Jabu Jabu is gone. There are also ways to enter Jabu Jabu as adult. I mean, I think I did show off enough for now, and there's no benefit in doing that right now. But with setups, you can also make it into Jabu Jabu's belly again. You just need to hit the loud zone. The loud zone is still here, like somewhere below, like this block of ice here. And yeah, with the right setup, you can touch that with adulting and enter Jabu Jabu's belly as adult. But yeah, our like task here is to jump over those ice platforms here. First of all, we can get a piece of heart here. The thing is, normally you're intended to do some platforming here, but you can also just perfectly fine climb those platforms here. It's a little bit finicky, like the game doesn't really want you to do that. As you can see, like the ice platform does seesaw a little bit here. if you try to climb it, but if you are persistent and if you combine it with the jump slash, you can make it on top of here. Pretty easy. That way you don't need to rely on like gyms. Right? Who's Jim, guys? Who's Jim? On Link's jumping capabilities. Even better, those platforms here that rotate do not even have this seesaw physics. You can just climb them like that, and you want to go over here. And that's where kind of the next dungeon takes place. Ooh. Nice Cavern. This is gonna be at least cooler than the last dungeon, so look forward to that. Well, I hope Link did not die of hypothermia in between this and what I declare the last episode. Well, at least he did caught a cold in the meantime. Sorry about that. But yeah, we arrived at the Ice Cavern. Depending on like how things go, this is actually still part of the now declared previous episode. But we will see. No clue how I will cut all of this. But yeah, Ice Cavern, we can already see a gimmick here, red ice and those icicles. Red ice is something we cannot do against. We need to find something else first before we can deal with those blocks of red ice. But luckily we will find that here. And of course, since it is Ice Cavern, we also have a lot of ice-themed enemies here. For example, those freezers here. They will get frozen here. Dude, That was nice. Also, I did it wrong. I want to do a big spin attack here. That's what I want to do here. Ouch. Oh, by the way, this is something I can quickly show off. This is a very good indicator once again for like Zelda 2 remnants in this game. Because if you watch the Link hurt animation when he gets hit by one of those blade traps, it's pretty much the same animation that Link does when he gets hurt in Zelda 2. Nice detail. Look at this, yeah, that's pretty much exactly it. Especially if he has the sword drawn. Now he's reacting to something here. Guess I need to play Song of Storms here. That must be a big fairy. Yep. And playing Song of Storms inside the dungeon always has the bad effect that it makes the music stop, but I wanted to show it. Also, it's raining now here, inside the cavern. Oh, but I passed the loading zone, so I guess that cancelled it. Nice. That's good, thank you. Our ice scythe here. Careful not to get chopped into bits here. One thing you can do, you can simply duck by shielding. That's actually one of those things I really like about this game, that this works, that you can just duck. That works. That's something I haven't realized for the longest time. But that actually works. And longest time in that context means I did not realize that was possible when I was playing this game as a kid or so. But of course it makes perfect sense. I can even slide while I'm raising my shield, which is fun. But yeah, this is a Silver Rupee room. Did we already have one of those rooms? I think this might be the first instance of Silver Rupees, is it not? But yeah, in those rooms we need to collect all Silver Rupees that are scattered throughout the room, and then we activate the mechanism. And now he's reacting to that thing, but this time around I think it's just to target it. Like yeah, those bars are gone now. We can also see once again 2 more pathways that are blocked by red eyes. So let's hope we find something to get rid of that here. Once again we can hear freezards. Why am I even bothering with that guy? No clue, but here I am. Okay, I think here we want to shoot some keys. Ice keys, the most annoying kind in my opinion. That's not gonna hit. That's gonna hit. That's gonna hit. And come on, sniping skills. No. No. No, I invalidated everything. Come on, now you're hiding, coward. He's probably going to attack me from... Ah, still staying passive. Your fault. Now you can already see that there are like two kinds of freezards. Like there's this like kind of freezer that materializes from the floor and then like moves around the place and tries to freeze you like that. And there's also the stationary kind, like those guys over here and like over there. There are multiple ways to deal with those freezards. Normal sword strings do the trick. You can also hookshot onto them and then use a quick spin to deal with them. Like they're not particularly dangerous, you just need to time it right. If you hookshot onto them while they try to freeze you, that's of course not a good idea. But yeah, we have something very cool here. We have blue fire. It doesn't seem natural. Maybe you can use it for something. But yeah, how do you melt red ice? Of course with blue fire. I like that. That's an idea I always was pretty fond of. That guy's still annoying, but he cannot actually do something. I think Din's fire kills them instantly. Would make sense, considering they are made of ice. Yeah, this is also the part where we need... Dude, that's also the part where we need bottles. Because of course you carry the blue fire in a bottle. And there are also already multiple instances here where we can use the blue fire. For example, we can unfreeze this spot. I'm not gonna go and unfreeze every instance of blue... red ice here. This one had a unique big rupee. I think there's one more location where you can find that kind of rupee just laying around outside the chest. I think that's Geruda's fortress. But yeah, nothing of importance to be honest. Once again, money is not really all that needed in this game. What's more needed, but also not absolutely mandatory, is the dungeon map, which we find inside this chest. Nice. Cool dungeon map. Oh yeah, by the way, Ice Cavern is a mini dungeon. There are multiple instances of mini dungeons here in Ocarina of Time. Also, one thing I really like that they went through the trouble to implement some smaller dungeons. That's pretty nice. It's a nice change of pace in between dungeons, I would say. That's pretty cool, if you ask me. There's also something that never really returned. In Majora's Mask, they have something similar, kind of. Like, at least the Ikana Castle is kind of similar to a mini-dungeon. But then, actually never again. Like, it's just, like, major dungeons. Like, this kind of, like, dungeon is really what should have been in Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom. Just like a small mini-dungeon you can discover. That's exactly the kind of thing you want to discover in an open-world Zelda. But they did not bother with that. It's a little bit sad, but at the same time, one thing I always need to... But I always find commendable about like Tears of the Kingdom, Breath of the Wild is just how they did stick to their own vision and did not try to like pollute it with like stuff like I just mentioned, kind of. Like stuff like that, don't get me wrong, like dungeons you can find there in Breath of the Wild there would be pretty cool and stuff. But at the same time, I can see that it clashes with the like idea they had for that game. And I can really appreciate that they did stick to their idea in that regard. Like, it does have its flaws, but they did stick with it and they did see it through to the end. That's something, like, not many like, games nowadays do. They had the guts when they made Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. They really had guts with those games. And that's something I always appreciate, when a game shows some guts. In that regard, well done, developers. We can use all our blue fire in this room because we can see there's another source of blue fire here. Because the other one was the map, this is the compass. Nice. There's also just a piece of heart lying around there, like frozen in the red ice. You can also hear Skulltulas here. I think there's one normal one and one golden one. One thing you also want to be careful of are those falling icicles, of course. Those hurt if they hit you. A gold sculpture. There's actually not a normal one. I think that might have a master quest then. Let's get 2 more blue fires. Of course, if you don't unfreeze King Zora with what I did show you last time, or this time, depending on how I cut all of this. Then you of course also want to take 1 blue fire outside of this dungeon. Maybe even 2 blue fires, because you can also unfreeze the Zora shop that way. That's also something I want to do. But let's first see how far we can come with this. Yeah, in case you didn't notice, I did unfreeze the route that led me to that end first, and then we go here. Next up is a funny room. I like to call it the ground jump room. Because this is really a room where you can use ground jump to its full potential. Goodbye and goodbye. Okay, redeemed myself with sharpshooting, I guess. But yeah, the idea here is that you use this cube of ice here and like push it around and reach all of those rupees that way. However, I did already show you the ground jump. The ground jump is super cool, so let's use it for this room. Once again, pull out a bomb, move a little bit backwards, don't grab it like I did. This is a little bit tricky because the floor is of course slippery and Link struggles a little bit to go back. Okay, do this. Bomb, hello? Do this, not this, dude. Cannot do it. That's not it. It is, because I cannot pull out the bomb. There we go, and we can just do that. Okay. And we can basically do that to reach like every single silver rupee here, which is pretty nice. For this one, we don't need blue fire. We can just pull out sword, and we can just, if we position ourselves right, we can just jump slash into the red ice here. Like that. Nice. Also going up here. Like there, we also need a ground jump again. Bomb. A little bit backwards. Roll into the bomb, mesh A. Don't lower your shield. Wait until the bomb explodes, and there we go. I think we can also... Yeah, now he's reacting again. We can play Song of Time here. Hee-hoo-hoo, hee-hoo-hoo. Always sounds nothing like Song of Time when I play Song of Time. That's the funny thing. Okay, that's a little bit close. Okay. Multiple ones even. Okay, just some red rupees. I don't... That was weird. Did you see that? Wait a second. Wait a second. What was that? Like, he's standing there, but then he immediately jumps off. That's pretty funny. Come on, catch it. Nice. Blue fire, we need at least one more and then one for unfreezing the Zora shop in my case. Although I might want to take another one because I'm not sure how the King Zora works if I leave the area completely. A sculpture should be the last one here. Okay. And another ground jump, I guess. Wanna keep the bottle because I need it. Okay, nice. Like I said, the slippery floor makes this a little bit more strange here to use, but overall not too difficult. That was absolutely not it. There we go. Nice, and let's go. Nice. How much easier Link's adventure could be if he could just jump. But now you have to use glitches to make him do so. Okay, and this is the last place where we need blue fire in this dungeon. There's also like a blue rupee we could unfreeze at the entrance here, but I'm not gonna do that. Also lag. Actually not, I think on N64 this would lag, but not here, right now. Yeah, I want to get another blue fire real quick. The keys are gonna respawn, and the room is also completely changing. Let's see if I can be quick about this before the keys attack. Okay, that worked. Okay, up there, and let's go. Oh no, I need another one. Okay, goodbye. Oh, not too close, too close. Too close, come on. I think that's it. Nice, okay. And let's go, okay. Good one. A lot of boundary-based loading zones in this. Like, the rooms are not separated by doors, like other dungeons. Let's go with this. Let's hope I do not accidentally use my blue fire. Mini-boss coming up. Oh my god, it's a white Walforce. Lure it close to you, watch its movement carefully, attack it when it drops its guard. Yeah, it's just a normal Walforce actually. So we can just do that and goodbye. What a mini-boss, isn't it? Okay, we pick up the dungeon treasure, which is actually what we came here for. Also cool room, by the way. We get the iron boots. So heavy you can't run, so heavy you can't float. And whoa! Suddenly chic. And Navi's flying through his head, nice. We meet again, Link. If you came here to meet the Zoras, you wasted your time. This is all there is. With one exception, the Zoras are now sealed under this thick ice sheet. I managed to rescue the Zora princess from under the ice, but she left to head for the water temple. Uh-oh, the ever so infamous water temple. This ice is created by an evil curse. The monster in the water temple is the source of this curse. Unless you shut off the source, this ice will never melt. If you have courage enough to confront the danger and save the Zoras, I will teach you the melody that leads you to the temple. Time passes, people move. Like a river's flow, it never ends. A childish mind will turn to noble ambition. Young love will become deep affection. The clear water surface reflects growth. Now listen to the serenade of water and reflect upon yourself. Sandy with the metaphors, okay? Plop. Like, where do you store that harp? I like that she did not even play. I think the movement is kind of supposed to sync up with the notes. But okay, Serenade of Water. You have learned the Serenade of Water. Cool. Link, I'll see you again. Yeah, this is one instance where Sheik does not perform something fancy. Like an ice effect would have been cool or so, but nope. Yeah, we got iron boots. Nothing more we can do here for the Zoras. We need to head to the water temple next. But yeah, iron boots, those make us very heavy, and the thing is we can now submerge here in water. Of course, the thing is, Link is not a fish. He will choke after a while if we stay too long underwater. But luckily we will soon get something that will prevent even that. And that's something I was mentioning we do get from King Zora. So let's head to there. Also, at this stage, I'm fairly convinced that this is still part of the last episode, so... This is still the same episode, guys. Nothing new at all. Cool. One thing we can do with the iron boots now... Oh, by the way, another very big convenient feature the randomizer adds. D-pad items. Not only do you have the Ocarina on D-pad, you also get the boots on D-pad, which makes it much, much better to use those items, because like it is right now in the base game, you need to open the menu every time you want to change boots, which is super annoying. That's one of the main things about the water temple. But I guess more on that in the next episode. For now, let's just dive down Zora's fountain. There are a lot of rupees down here. And also, we cannot breathe, we get a timer. Also, by the way, I never explained how timers in this game work. Timers are interesting. Timers are actually linked to your current health. I think every full heart is 4 seconds, which means a quarter heart is 1 second. Math. Simple math cannot compute. But yeah, if you have more hearts, you get a longer timer. This applies to like the drowning timer here. It applies to the fire timer in Death Mountain Crater and heat areas. And basically every instance of a timer, unless the timer is something like the trade sequence or so. Or like minigames, of course. But yeah, all timers that basically decide Link's life or not are linked to self. That also means if I have fewer hearts now, if I only have like 1 heart right now, I would only have 4 seconds. But yes, King Zora luckily is still unfrozen. Pretty nice. Let's just talk to him. Oh, I've come back to life. Was it you who saved me? Don't be nervous. It looks like you have a hard time breathing underwater. As an expression of my gratitude, I grant you this tunic. With this, you won't choke underwater. Cool, we get like the water equivalent to our Goron tunic, which is the Zora tunic. This diving suit is adult size, so it won't fit a kid. Wear it and you don't drown underwater. Cool, now we can breathe underwater. The blue tunic. I always like that you get different tunic colors here, that's always pretty cool. Like, what's your favorite tunic in this game? Mine's still Goron tunic because Red Link in this game looks pretty cool. But I'm also a huge fan of classic green, of course. Classic green is also always nice to have. I was wondering why am I running around here, but I want to unfreeze the Zora shop, of course. Right here. I like the melting sound effect, that's a pretty good sound effect. Cool, yeah, Zora shop, you're still alive, nice. Like the other Zora, like the Goron shopkeeper. Like Gendorf does not like touch the shopkeepers. He wants to keep the economy intact, apparently. Talk to the owner. You say you want to buy a Zora tunic? That tunic is made of the finest material and is therefore exceedingly expensive. In fact, I'm afraid only that very rich family in Kakariko village can afford this fine garment. Wow, okay, that's a reference I never knew was here, okay. Like, that very rich family is the cursed people from the House of Skulltula. Cool, okay, interesting. We could buy a fish, but yeah, nothing we really want here. Guy's totally oblivious of what happened outside. Cool, yeah. The thing is, unlike the Goron tunic, you can buy a Zora tunic before you thaw King Zora, and if you buy a Zora tunic and actually still already have it when you unfreeze King Zora, the King Zora will notice that, and instead of offering you the Zora tunic, he will offer you a kiss. Another nice fun fact. But yeah, we're done with Ice Cavern. This is still 1 episode, nice. That was faster than I anticipated, but yeah, here we are. Next time we will do the Water Temple, so look forward to that or dread it, whatever party you belong to when it comes to the Water Temple. But yeah, a lot to talk about that next time, so look forward to that. Alright guys, thank you all for watching, I really hope you enjoyed the video. See you in the next episode of The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. Until then, take care and goodbye.